said about having an uneven skill set really,
Yeah, that's really true. Because you gotta be really good at one thing, horrible at something else, and we don't concentrate enough on building up the skill set that can turn into a good job.
growing up and to this day, my parents refuse to acknowledge that autism is real, let alone that I am on the spectrum. And so it sounds like you had support with this. Is there any resources or anything that somebody like me that didn't have any kind of support system and had to
Well,
learn
one of the
everything
things
on
that
your own?
I have a book called Different Not Less, where 18 adults diagnosed later in life tell their stories in their own words. And they found that getting a diagnosis was almost a relief. It's called Different Not Less, and I edited that book. I think you might find that helpful. I found reading it helpful when I edited it, because it explains, why maybe some of your social stuff didn't work out. And I would read that book. Okay, let's take you right there.
Do you have any tips for improving communication between people who are object-oriented and those who are logical?
Okay, between the different kinds of thinking, the first step is realizing they exist. I didn't know that verbal thinking existed until I was in my late 30s. And I didn't realize by people thought it was crazy for me to get down in the chutes and look at what cattle were seeing. Now, if you're a visual thinker, object visualizer, it's obvious to me why you get in the chutes and see what cattle are seeing. But if you're a verbal thinker, they don't see that. Well, when I was doing that in my 20s, I didn't even know that a verbal thinker existed. So I tell business leaders, the first step is you've got to realize different thinking exists. And then I look at things like where can the minds be complementary? Okay, Betsy was working on editing and really fixing my writing. In a food processing plant, the people in the shop design all the mechanically clever equipment. And the degreed engineers do the boilers and the refrigeration. That requires mathematics. We don't understand boilers and refrigeration. That's somebody else's shop. Okay, that's an example of two different kinds of minds working in a complementary manner to make a food process. That's, like, you see there's a lot of
Thank you.
examples like that. So what we need to be doing, we need the different kinds of thinkers, and we recognize that they can work in a complementary manner. My grandfather was a co-inventor of the autopilot of airplanes, MIT trained mathematical engineer. Worked with another guy who came up with a goofy idea for an autopilot. It was totally visual. They worked together in a rented loft. The stolen version was in every warplane in World War II. They needed one. See, that's just where we really do need all the different kinds of minds.